Gentlemen, was that good?
Yeah.
Declan, you approve?
Yes, sir.
That was pretty good.
Sure, we can do it again if we need to, fellas. I want to
we-
be ready to play ball.
We always open it up to the jury of our guest, and they give you a thumbs up. So we're moving on. So welcome back to the Slide Podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Coach David, and today I'm joined with two pretty funny dudes. Joining us tonight from Los Angeles, California, Mateo, the baseball kid. Sir, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Man, I'm great. Weather's good. Everything's peachy over here. And yeah, Deklan, you're in the Sunshine State. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm great, dude. I'm great. I'm glad you're on. This is your very first episode, so we're going to allow you to kind of introduce yourself to our audience because they've seen your social media clips and they're bonkers, literally, right? Mateo, you've seen the clip, right? You've seen the video where he everything is bonkers. Like it's just bonkers, man. All right, Deklan. Before we get to our guests and everything tonight, we want to catch up with everyone. Mateo, dude, you got some stuff going on we got to hear about. A little AC/DC flavor in your blood now, and but we're gonna start with Mr. Swaggy D, man. Swaggy, this is your first episode. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself, man.
My name is Deklan Mele. My favorite sport is baseball. I also play a lot of other sports. I have a positive attitude, and I have a Instagram that you should go check out.
Yeah, and he's got Cuban links around his neck, so there's nothing wrong with a little bling, right, Mateo?
Heck yeah.
Dude, he's rocking it, man. So, all right. So our guests may or may not know we introduced something new to the show a few months ago, I believe it's been now, and that's been our unpredictable reporters. And so Swaggy is the first to debut his content. And Swaggy, man, like you're new to the show. Yeah, I mean, you're not necessarily new to the interviewing because that's how I found you, as you were interviewing players. But what's it been like doing some of this content out there at the parks?
It's really fun. I like how when it ends, I always want to do more and how funny it ends up being.
Yeah. What's been your favorite one so far?
Ooh, that's hard. I think it will be the bonkers one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The sit up, sit down, or the stand up, sit down one. That one was pretty funny because it was pretty funny. I think you had this kid sit down 5 times during the interview. That was pretty classic. Now the one video where you had the dudes throw you the football and then you just ran off with the football and disappeared. Were you a little bit scared in that one?
No, not at all. All I thought was just to run as fast as you can.
Well, dude, you got away from them, but it was so funny because your dad kept the camera on their faces and they were just clueless as to what was going on. And you took their football when they were all passing the ball. So it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Excited to see the content that I know you created today, and man, we're gonna keep doing some crazy stuff. So, and I think I know what you may have done today. How did it go? Just before we're not gonna tell anybody what you did, but how did it go?
It was really funny.
Yeah.
And so I was doing one, and he was like whatever I was doing, he was doing it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. No, we can't give out too many hints because we want this stuff to be like super fresh, right from the fresh market. So, all right, Mateo, let's move over to you, man. All right, so Mateo's the baseball kid. We all know him from his baseball videos, but Mateo, I saw a little different video of you today, man. Tell us about what you were doing.
Oh yeah, so I was in this little cover band for AC/DC. I did a couple drums and one song on bass, and it was really fun.
How long you been playing drums, man? I feel like you've been hiding this from me, and you're not supposed to hide anything from your coach.
I posted it on my story before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel maybe I've seen some stuff, but so how long have you been practicing?
Since December.
Since December, and you're already in a cover band.
Yeah.
Now, what's your feelings? Because you and I share similar taste when it comes to music. Like we love West Coast gangster
Yeah.
rap. Like, I mean, now you're playing a different genre now, AC/DC, which is one of the bands that I love as well. How you feel about it?
I really like that band a lot too. I really like their music. I think it's cool.
All of their songs have grooves, like very similar to hip hop. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's always a strong drum beat to it. There's some really good guitars that just follow the drums.
Yeah.
That's dude. When you had the wig on and the mustache, that was dude. You didn't have any groupies, right? No groupies hanging out.
No, not when Mama's there.
Mama was the groupie. That's okay. I got you. Okay. All right. Mateo, it may come quicker than she's ready for, but it's okay. It's all right. But dude, you were hitting the skins good, dude. I was very proud of you. I actually watched the clip multiple times. So that was good stuff, man. Now what's your favorite AC/DC song?
It's a tough one. I'd probably say like Dirty Deeds.
Dirty Deeds. All right. What about Black and Black? How do you feel about that one?
Like a lot too. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Dude, I can listen to most of their albums and you just can't find too many bad songs. I mean, some of them may not make a lot of sense to you, but you know, it's still a good song to listen to. So, well, man, I got two cool dudes here tonight with me, like two awesome dudes, and let's just get to the show because literally we could spend the whole episode us chatting, but we came to here for a purpose tonight, and that is to talk to Coach David from ThrowMo. Coach David, welcome to the Slide Podcast.
Thank you very much, Coach Aaron. I'm excited to be here. I'm a little bit intimidated. We got a talented crew here. We got not only baseball players, but musicians and content creators too. So the
That's
field
right.
reporters are a talented bunch.
That's
Having me
right.
on with you.
Well, very cool, Dave. So I love the title ThrowMo just because it rolls off the tongue in a way that this sounds weird, in a way that I like. That's weird, Mateo.
We love it.
But so tell us before we really get deep in the weeds with it. What's ThrowMo and where did it start?
So appreciate having us on. ThrowMo is a training tool that helps young throwers learn to step straight toward the target. Helps young batters learn to step directly towards the pitcher instead of stepping in the bucket or stepping out. Very, very simple tool, and I'll share how we developed it in our own experience as Little League coaches. But it's basically, again, very simple. You can think of it as just a strip of turf, a narrow strip of turf.
Mm-hmm.
You can fold it up and drop it down anywhere, grass, dirt, turf, and it won't slip and slide. And what it enables a kid to do is while they keep their eyes up on the target, they can feel if they're landing on line when they're throwing, if they're landing straight forward, and they notice if they're stepping out. Same thing at the plate. If they're stepping in the bucket, they can get instant tactile feedback. So works in the batter's box, works in your yard playing catch, works on a pitcher's mound. And it's all about giving that kid that tactile feedback that they can self-coach and self-correct and notice, am I landing on line or not? And then there's also visual footprints on there as well to help beginners understand the concept of getting perpendicular. And that's kind of it. And the basic story behind it was I was coaching I'm a Little League coach out here in Alexandria, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
We sold our first ThrowMos in April of 2024. And a year before that, so 2 years ago now, I was coaching my squad, and I just noticed that many of them, beginners, would kind of, when they would throw, they would swing their front foot open kind of like a gate, and they tend to pull their throws offline. And then at the plate, A lot of times kids would step in the bucket, not step straight towards the pitcher. And so I'm sure Mateo and Deklan, you guys probably know nothing about this. I've never had that habit, but a lot of kids did. And so what we try to do as coaches, and I think this is a familiar thing to try, is we would draw lines on the ground. And Mateo and Declan, I don't know if you can relate to this as kids, but what we noticed is like when the kids knew that what we wanted them to do was step straight and land on this line, the kids would look down at the line and away from the target and kind of give us one of these. So our basic idea was just, can we give the kids something where they can feel in their foot without anybody having to correct them from the outside? Am I landing on line? While keeping their eyes up on the target, and the ThrowMo was born.
That's, as a youth coach myself, I've been there every step of the way with what you were saying. I've been there. I've tried my best to rack my brain. What's the easiest way to give the kid the feedback? Because just like what you said, I have went right out there in the dirt and I have drew lines. I've drew landing spots, and and it still it pulls their attention away from where they should be focusing on. And so, man, I think it's pretty awesome. So, I think most people hear it and they think ThrowMo, but like what you're talking about is even in the batter's box. And like that is, I'm going to tell Mateo and Deklan, have your parents ever had to get on to you, or your coach? This is back early in the day, right? You two are pretty much all pros right now. That's what I would say. But back early in the day, you ever remember hearing "quit stepping out"?
Yes, sir.
For me, it's also been like recently. I've always kind of had trouble stepping in, but when I started using ThrowMo, I noticed once I started to step more straight because of the pad and stuff. It sort of helped me a lot more, and I've been hitting a lot better because of it.
Yeah.
Love to hear that, Mateo.
Well, I mean, it's instant feedback. And another thing that you said, Coach, was a player can go out and use it and they can coach themselves because it's instant feedback and they don't need someone to tell them what they did. They have visual evidence of it, right?
Exactly. I think that was for us a really important part about it. Just wanting the learning and development process, just the process of participating in sports to be a fun thing, and anytime we can minimize a coach or an adult having to correct a kid and make them feel like they didn't do it right, and can equip kids with the power to know themselves and to self-correct, is just a good thing. So that was when we were designing it. I think that was a really key attribute we were looking for, was something that puts the knowledge and the recognition of did I do this correctly in the hands of the kids, and also just makes the intent very visual and tangible and clear.
But let's be honest. I mean, we've all stepped out of the batter's box. I mean, listen, I'm old. I would probably step out a little bit more these days.
Definitely.
Well, but and another thing is what I've learned a lot, and with my playing history, and as I coach my son, if you can find the answer to get better without someone having to tell you, that's a huge difference right there. Because see, my son is very much the type of kid that he has unrealistic expectations for himself. He thinks he should be perfect at everything he does the first time that he plays. And so every time dad's nagging at him, foot came out of the box, you step backwards. But with this tool, because we also have one, he's able to go in the garage like he's been doing, and he's able to use that to and he's able to even come back in and say, you know what, everything I was throwing, he's right-handed. Everything I was throwing was to the left. And it was like, well, normal. So where's your toes pointing? All right. Where's your landing spot? And with the mat, He's like, all I had to do was just move and reposition my feet, and there it was. So I love the concept. I love the product. So let's get into a little bit about what these two guys have done. So Deklan, man, you pulled this thing out of the box a few weeks ago, and what'd you think?
I really liked it, especially when sometimes I would pull myself left, and then the ball would go left, and I would get off balance. So I would realize that I need to step forward and make an adjustment.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Declan, were you able to notice that you were stepping left while still keeping your eyes on the target?
Yes, sir. I definitely did. I definitely noticed.
That's good. I'll just make sure we're doing our job. That's good to hear.
Well, so I've seen some of the videos or the video that his dad sent me of their first training with it, and I could tell from my seat, probably about 500 miles away from him, exactly when he landed correctly and when he didn't, and the ball. Declan, go back and watch these videos if you haven't already. But when you land perfectly on that line, your balls were right in the center of the strike zone. And I even texted your dad. I was like, "Yep, you can definitely tell when he lands correctly because there's where the ball's at." And so cool stuff. Now, granted, you know, Declan, you probably still got a lot of room to grow, but it's pretty cool too, huh?
Yes, it is.
So did anybody in the gym notice you were using it? Because I noticed you were in the training gym.
Yeah, so there are these people coming in trying to play catch. They started talking to me about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
there we go.
There was also a coach of the facility that was interested in it as well.
Awesome.
That's always super encouraging to hear. I mean, we the fact that it helps, and the fact that folks around you can tell, and it's just super encouraging. It's been fun for us. We've been out there with it for a year, so doesn't get old to hear that it's having an impact, and hope it keeps helping you, Declan.
Yeah, I mean, and even using it for just playing catch. When Declan says the other guys were playing catch, so many of the fundamentals are thrown out the window with just playing catch. And if you can train your body, to have balance through your throw, like even just playing catch, it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. I think everybody wants to pitch at the youth level, and I think people sometimes think of ThrowMo as a pitching tool, and it certainly is. Like some of our most prominent use cases and coaches are youth pitching clinicians that use it, but it's for all 9 players. Catch play is the foundation of a good solid throw at all 9 positions. Certainly true for pitching. Before you can pitch, you got to be able to play catch and do that accurately. So stepping forward in the right direction is a key fundamental for all forms of throwing and batting too.
Yeah. Now, Mateo, I've seen you dabble in the pitching, and I say dabble because I've seen you pitch quite a bit. Now, just this sidebar question: when you're doing your at home throws and tosses, is Mama catching for you?
Wait, is my what?
Is your mom catching the ball for you?
No, I kind of just throw it to a wall and it bounces off.
No, listen, we need to get your mom a glove. She's gonna have to learn how to play a little ball. I mean, I know she can chauffeur. She needs to lace it up, and let's see what she's got. So Mateo, you got to ThrowMo, sent out to California.
Yeah.
You didn't throw it away, did you?
No.
I just got to check,
Go ahead and put him on the spot.
So tell me about it, Mateo. What did you think?
I thought that it was really awesome. Really,
there we go.
Get better with my because I always used to step out and I would always pull or get as good as barrel on the ball, and I would fit. And with this at the ThrowMo, I started stepping more straight and in the line, and I started to hit a lot better.
Love it.
I'm almost wondering, because so Mateo spends a lot of time behind the plate. So Mateo, you may want to bring this with you to like your practices when your pitchers have a hard time like locating the strike zone. Just bring it out there and drop it on the mound for them and say, "I just did you a favor." Mateo, that would be an hilarious video right there. Like a pitcher is struggling, and then Mateo, you just walk out there and you just lay it down for them, and like all of a sudden they start hitting the strike zone. But anyway. So
now, Mateo, before you do that, you can show we've got catchers who use the thing too now because it helps.
That's where I was going.
Yep. Pop up, get perpendicular, get straight down the line to second base or wherever you're throwing, and great tool for catchers too. They'll ask you what you're doing, and then that's when you can hit them with. Actually, we got a few reps for you on this thing too.
Yeah,
dude. Like, all right. So you're in your squat. Or knee down, however you do it, but the board almost is center of you, right? So when you jump to pop, your feet should be landing still perpendicular and in line. So, like, Mateo, you should live with this, like in the bed, and it's not as soft, so you could sleep with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so you like it, right?
Yeah, I do like it. It helped me a lot. And I like now that I know I can use it for catching too, I'm gonna start using it for catching because that would be awesome, and that's probably gonna help me out a lot more with my throw downs.
Do you know Coach Bougie, Mateo?
Yeah,
he's out your way. Yeah, catching made simple on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked out with
youth catching coach.
Yeah,
have you? Oh, love that guy. Yes. He has showcased ThrowMo as part of catcher training in some of his content recently, and so we love him. And yeah, he's helped us reach that catching community as well.
Now, Coach, when you put this out and you guys put it on the market for sale, what feedback have you heard? Now, obviously, you're going to tell us a bunch of great stuff because that's what we're here for. We're not going to talk about the negatives, but what's some really good feedback that you guys heard that maybe you hadn't initially thought about?
The first year has been extremely exciting and gratifying, and our eyes have been opened by much better baseball minds than ours of how the tool can be beneficial. So Brandon Geyer, former major league ball player, Cleveland Indian,
I know Brandon.
Great mindset coach. He coaches a 8U, probably 9U or 10U team now, and started using the ThrowMo in their pitchers' bullpens and said it dramatically accelerated their pitchers' development. And they call it a bullpen essential. And that was very rewarding and exciting to hear. We had former Atlanta Braves pitcher David Hale, kind of in your neck of the woods there, Coach Aaron, send us a video of him using it to teach his son to throw, not to pitch, but just to teach his probably then 4 or 5-year-old son just the basics of getting perpendicular and stepping straight forward and throwing. And so as an early product company, that was something that was incredibly gratifying and encouraging for us to see. And then we did hear from many different, and certainly like some very prominent youth pitching clinicians gave us a lot of limelight and confidence as well. Folks like Jorge Correa, who was a former minor league pitcher in the Houston Astros organization and travels all around the country doing youth pitching clinics, began to use it. And that was very encouraging. And those were the kind of use cases that we sort of expected for throwing. And then we've partnered with a lot of different academies and facilities that many of them began coming back and telling us we're using it for hitting too. We love it for throwing, but we're using it for hitting at least as much. And that was actually what we called the thing ThrowMo. So we had throwing in mind.
Hit mode. ThrowMo/hit mode.
Yeah, that's right. But they said guys, we use it as is in our batter's boxes too. And it helps the kids without us having to yell at them that they're stepping in the bucket, or without us having to yell anything at them. They keep their eyes up on the ball the whole time, but they know instantly if they've stepped straight towards the pitcher or if they've stepped out, and then they can self-correct and adjust and get quality reps that way. So that's been really exciting. And we've had, little leagues buy bunches of them and put them in all the coaches' bags. So it's been very exciting. And frankly, we're trying to make them fast enough now has been our challenge.
Oh, that's a good problem there.
We've been sold out too many times. It's a good problem to have, but still a problem. So we've been trying to make them fast enough to meet the demand, and it's just been incredibly exhilarating. But we're back in stock now. We aim to stay that way. So we're
awesome.
working to expand production for you guys.
Well, I haven't really said much, but I've been fighting. I guess we can say fighting. And if they're listening, I hope they are. But I've been battling with our youth league here where I'm from, because I feel like too many times in more of the rec little league areas is we don't set coaches up to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going to get on a tangent on this one, but I could. But in this situation, when kids start that transition over from kid pitch from coach pitch to kid pitch.
Yeah.
In most cases, kids aren't working with someone who can really, work on just the foundational part, of throwing. I'll be honest with you. I don't see too many, and I've coached for a while. I don't see too many coaches actually even trying to correct just their catch motion.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, as I'm a coach myself, you've got 12 kids out there and a couple of coaches, and you got a 1 hour practice, maybe hour and a half practice. And some of that time just has to be spent on gameplay and team assignments and who covers what base when and where the cutoff is. And there's just a lot of that kind of coordination. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to put in the kind of one-on-one instruction that you would like to be able to do in terms of mechanics and so forth. So that was another thing that I think we wanted to achieve, was like something that not only helps kids learn, but also helps coaches coach. And we're not reinventing baseball or establishing any new controversial techniques. We're just trying to help kids get perpendicular and step towards their target or step towards the bat. But it's things that coaches have always tried to teach, and hopefully we can make it a little easier to teach, a little easier to learn, maybe more fun to learn as well. So
you can kind of gamify it. That's what I've learned with kids, is if you can attach some type of challenge, a game to it, gamify it, then they're going to buy in a lot quicker. But you said this, and this is what sparked the thought in my head, but you said little leagues are buying these, and I think that is amazing, because again, we're coaches out there to help these kids get better, and coaches don't refuse, generally speaking, specifically new coaches. They don't push away training tools and equipment like this. Now, I can say I know some coaches that their egos probably wouldn't allow them to say that it's a good tool, but at the same time, I feel like this is a great tool for any parent to go buy for their kid, even if they're starting out and they're just in the backyard playing catch with dad or mom or whoever. It's something that can give them the basics without a coach having to be there, and we've said that.
I mean, it's a good point. I think in terms of coaches wanting to coach their own way, obviously, I get it. I wouldn't want a training tool forced on me, but the way we kind of view it is like you've got the kids during practice, and then you're sending them away for 6 days and 23 hours, and what are they doing during that time? And kids hopefully love the sport enough that they're playing catch in their backyard. And if there's a training tool that they love, that's fun to use, and that continues to reinforce good quality reps and good quality habits all throughout the week, it's kind of like having good quality instruction that the kids are really able to recognize themselves with them all the time.
Yeah. I mean, because unfortunately, some kids, they may not do a lot of work in between those hour practices, but you give them a device like this and they've heard their coach, hopefully use it and then talk about landing and where that, that foot lands. And now they've got a tool that they can go in the backyard. And like Mateo, I mean, mom don't put on a glove, but he just throws it against a wall or a net. But it's an instant, he can start building, a new kid, a brand new kid to the sport, even at the age 6, 4, like just helping them get their body lined up correctly. I don't know. Like you said, you didn't reinvent anything. It just makes too much sense, know?
Yeah. Hopefully it just makes teaching a classic skill a little easier to teach
Right.
and a little easier to learn.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt.
Mateo's mom's I got a lot of confidence and faith in Mateo's mom. I think she's going to have that glove. She's going to be whipping the ball across the yard pretty soon.
I think she should. Renee, you just got called out, but it's okay. We're going to use this.
What you guys saying?
What we were saying that you need to put that glove on and go in the backyard and practice with Mateo so he don't have to throw it against the wall.
Bad. I mean,
what's that?
I don't want to make him look bad.
Oh, but Mateo, you're not going to take that. His eye black is way too slick.
Now, I've seen Mama rock the eye black before. She needs to earn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mateo's mom, were you a ball player?
I wasn't. I grew up in the 90s where we actually played outside, and baseball wasn't all family travel ball. We were just like a bunch of kids that like to play during lunch and recess and after school, and we didn't do it like formalized. It was just all the boys and girls that wanted to play, so that's how I played. Sandlot style.
In the sandlot. Well, I bet that's perfect then.
She could use the tool.
I could.
Mateo.
Exactly, but
so I could show this guy what's up.
Well, you could reaffirm what you've told him.
Right.
So well, let's see. We get Mateo's mom on that ThrowMo. See if her thrown form is as good as she says. I bet it is.
Yep.
But you'll be able to tell with instant tactile feedback.
And Mateo, you're a catcher.
That seems like good content for us. I could get him in his catcher's, and we'll go for it and see who has better technique.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what your stride length is like. That's one thing I did mention. So this is typically we say is great for T-ballers up to about age 12. Which how old are you guys, Mateo and Deklan?
I'm 12.
I am 9, but I play 10U.
Okay. How about you, Mateo?
I'm 12.
12. Okay. So Mateo, when you throw on this thing, your stride length is getting up there. Are you still on the mat when you land?
No. I don't think so. No.
Are you stepping forward past it?
Yeah, you're stepping over the
You're stepping over the line. So how tall are you, Mateo?
How tall am I? A smidge under 5 foot.
About 5 feet. Okay. Yeah. So that's about where the original ThrowMo, which is the product we make today, tops out. So it's 4.5 feet long. And so if your stride length if you're 5 feet tall and your stride length is, 95%. So kids' stride lengths are typically 80 to 90% of their height. So you're getting to be right around that point where that you're going to be striding past the end of it. And that's why we say typically it's a tool for little leaguers, kids up to about age 12 whose stride length is 4.5 feet or less. That was the original intent of the tool, was to help young kids and have it be still compact enough and something you could fold up and carry with you and drop on the field anywhere. So but we have, and maybe you'll be our first customer for this, Mateo, or our first sponsor, but we've heard from many of the different pitching coaches that use ThrowMo for their younger pitchers. And this, you had kind of asked us, Aaron, what has surprised us in the first year. This was a surprise to me. We've had some elite level coaches who have said we would love, like, make us the ThrowMo Pro, make us the ThrowMo XL, make us something that's 6 or 6.5 feet long, because our high school pitchers still could use reinforcement on stride direction. And that is a direction that we may expand in, and would not have necessarily recognized that this is a skill, even as you get into those elite levels of play, that still needs good reinforcement. So anyway, typically we say up to about age 12 for the ThrowMo original, but keep your eyes peeled for the ThrowMo Pro.
I like that.
It's cool.
Now, Deklan, were you throwing the ball better with it? I've told you were. Did it really feel like it? You can be honest.
Yeah, I did. It felt like I knew that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I can feel the velocity going up and my accuracy going up.
Okay. There we go.
That's good to hear, Deklan. Velocity and accuracy are two pretty important things when throwing. So
there you go. Yeah, because I mean, everybody's searching these days for 3-digit numbers on miles per hour, and you got to have the foundational stuff in place in order to even achieve things like that. So
that's a smart point, Declan, about the velocity. I think not all kids recognize that when, like, if I'm thrown towards you and I'm stepping over here, I may still get it there. But if I do get it there, I'm getting it there without my lower body momentum helping me out and propel it in that direction. So some kids may feel like, hey, I'm still throwing strikes, I'm still getting it there, I'm still hitting the glove. But if you're not driving toward the target, then you're missing out on velocity, even if you're accurate. So
well, and then now you think about it. All right, so you're not being rotational enough either. So if you're stepping out and pulling away, like, now you're not even using your hips as much. You've opened up your hips completely, and now you're putting all the pressure on your shoulder. So I mean, there's so many little things that teaching kids the right way of doing things and assisting that learning can help, and I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I was going to ask you. That's a good look for you there, Mateo. I like that. That's the mustache mo.
There you go.
But
a little facial hair.
So for someone listening, watching, what's this device retail for? Where can they find it at?
They can find it at throwmotrainer.com.
Okay.
You can find us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all the things at ThrowMo Trainer. Retails for $129 with free shipping. That's the info on it. So it is a durable product that lasts forever, and I would just kind of emphasize the craftsmanship that went into it in terms of the dimensions. We spent a lot of time working with pro players and former D1 pitchers and elite level coaches to get the training dimensions exactly precise. We did a lot of prototyping on the backing to make it non-slip. So that's something that was very important to us, is getting a friction, high traction surface, so that when a kid is throwing or hitting, he can get rep after rep after rep without having to tinker and realign with the tool. The turf surface was something that we worked really hard on getting right. And Mateo and Deklan, hopefully you guys noticed this. That's a cleat-proof surface that delivers instantly recognizable feedback in terms of when you're stepping on or when you're falling off. The visual cues, so the visual footprints that are on there, hopefully make it very intuitive for brand new beginners to get perpendicular and know where they're throwing it. And that's another piece too for coaches out there that are struggling to practice. Just having those visual cues that kids who don't hear everything you say can instantly recognize, oh, here's where I put my feet, here's where I step, really cuts through a lot of the struggle. Yeah, so that's the information.
Yeah, I think anything visual for kids, there's a lot of visual learners out there, and trying to hear over other kids talking in practice and everything else, you're exactly right. I mean, in my head, if I was coaching a baseball team today, I could just see everyone lined up in their spots with ThrowMos. And it's an easy as you're teaching a young team, like, all right, I can stand back from a distance and I can tell where that foot lands and I can correct, not having to be immediately right there, with that particular player. I can stand back and watch a row of kids throw and see where they land.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think coaches, I think parents, when you're thinking about the foundational skill of throwing, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of injuries that could come from doing things the wrong way, and you want your players to start at a young age and stay consistent through their development in the game of doing things the right way. And I think ThrowMo assists and all of those factors, and the HitMo factor.
That's right.
And using it in the box. What do we call the catching skill, Mateo? Is that PopMo, or what are we? What do we call that? Is that PopMo?
PopMo. That sounds good.
All right, I think that's good. Yeah. That's good. All right, we've trademarked that one already. There we go.
All right. Well, yeah, we got some good names. It's all just one tool today. ThrowMo that you can use for all those.
That's right.
Purposes.
That's right.
We got but we do. I mean, I obviously bring it to my practices. We hear from coaches and see all the time the portability of bring a few of them out there, use them in your throwing lines to help kids step straight towards a target and build that habit when they're playing catch. Move it to the pitcher's mound, move it to your pitcher's bullpens to help your pitchers develop an online stride. Move it behind the plate so my man Mateo here can pop and get perpendicular and know he's stepping straight towards the base. Move it a couple feet forward into that batter's box and help the batters drive towards that pitcher and smack it to center field too. So
very cool. Very cool. Now, one question I want to ask you guys, and we usually do this when we have different companies on the call with us. And Coach Dave, this is research time. If there was anything that you guys would like to see done differently from your perspective to help you on your journey, what would you like to see differently on the ThrowMo?
I have one thing.
What is it, Deklan?
So during flat ground, there's like nothing to push off, so you're not getting the same feeling like as off the mound. So I would like a little rubber spot where you can push off your leg so you can get practice getting that full stride.
Yeah, like a little raised pitching rubber that you could push your heel off of, right?
Yes, sir.
Kind of accessory like that makes total sense. Yeah, we may consider adding that in as an accessory at some point. It's interesting you say that. We when we first released the product, we did think about doing that, Deklan. And so our thought process was very similar to yours. We ended up not doing it, but I still think we could as like an accessory or a version. The reason we ended up not doing it, I'm curious if you guys would guess what the reason was that we didn't do it.
Because multiple different you can do.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple other things in baseball you can use for it than just pitching.
Exactly. It's we were afraid that if we marketed it as a pitching tool, people wouldn't realize the value that it has to all 9 position players, value in catch play, value for catchers, value for hitters as well. But having said all that, Deklan, I still think it's a great idea because we can do something like that as an option that enables the flat ground work that you're describing. So point taken.
Awesome. Mateo, you have any feedback?
No, personally, I think it's perfect the way it is, and I think it's a really good creation.
Oh, thank you, Mateo. Well, we got to get you that ThrowMo Pro, though, right? We got to get you the 6 or 6.5 foot version so you can use it until you're 25 years old.
Awesome. Well, Coach Dave, it's been awesome to get to know you tonight. Excited about
guys.
ThrowMo. I know my son enjoys it as well, and these two guys do. And there's no doubt that there's thousands of others around the country learning the same thing. So thank you for hanging out with us a little bit, and but we can't let you go anywhere. There's still one final question that we always ask our guests. Deklan, you're new to the episode world, so there's always one question that, since the creation of this show, that's over 150 episodes now, and this little history lesson for you, but every guest has been asked this question. With the actually, I correct myself. Mateo, when we had the Baseball Moms episode, that episode was so insane and chaotic that we totally lost train of thought. And I was just trying to end the episode so we didn't go for 3 hours. And so we didn't ask it there. So, yes, Renee, you were there. You were there. Actually, the problem was Mark Paul when he got on and he wouldn't stop talking, and I had to tell him to be quiet. But anyway, I digress. So, final question that we ask all of our guests, Coach David, it literally is, I've had CEOs on this company of very, very large companies, and it stumps them. So it's usually easy for the kids. Mateo, do you know what it is?
What's your walk-up song?
Oh my God, you can't throw it out there like that. We got to surprise him. We have to set him up. But it was just a yes or no question that I was asking you. But it's okay now. So, Coach Dave, you're walking up to bat now, man. Walkout music is huge for the vibe, for the crowd, get you pumping. What you going to pick for your walkout song?
You know what I would pick? I would pick, I think you'll know this, Coach Aaron. Renee, I think you'll know this. Mateo and Deklan, I don't think you guys will. But if you listen to it, I bet you'll love it. You know the song "In the Air of the Night" by Phil Collins? That drum solo and that kicks in. That is what I would play.
The one that Mike Tyson plays in The Hangover.
Oh yeah.
I love. Oh, this is embarrassing. I love that movie
because he does the drums.
He's got the tigers in town.
Yes. But yes. Yes, Mateo, you listen to some DMX. He actually did a version of that too on his first album, so In the Air. But yeah, amazing song, man. Man, that song will bring cold chills to you. Absolutely. So it's incredible. Well, awesome.
What is yours, Mateo and Deklan? What are your walk-up songs? You guys probably actually have them. You guys probably actually play them.
My walk-up song is Pretty Boy Swag, and the part is when they're like, "This is my pretty boy swag." Hey, that's my part.
I love it. Get up there and get a big hit.
Mateo.
My walk-up song is. She can say the PG version. "Dang It" by Blink-182.
Oh. I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Love it.
You know, that's so funny.
Great choices.
It is so funny. So Mateo, I think both of these boys have such a very diverse music taste.
Yeah.
And Mateo, I'm proud of you, man. You West Coast out there, doing your thing, but you're still cultured, man.
Blink-182.
I know.
That's from our day, Aaron.
That's far from, Too Short and Ice Cube over there, what you listen to.
I still stuff, but I'm actually going to a music festival in October with a bunch of with Weezer and The Offspring.
Oh, those are our guys. Yeah, it was the 90s.
Yeah, Blink-182 and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Good for you, Mateo.
So I claim the 80s. So, Coach Dave, when I was growing up, I wanted to wear the spandex pants and I wanted the big hair. I mean, it was Aquanet. I didn't have it, but I wanted it. I was the Poison, Motley Crue, Cinderella, all that loud guitar, arena rock music. That was.
You got me by a couple years.
Yeah.
Mateo, did you see when? What was it like? Maybe it was Game 2. Was it when Ice Cube walked out of the center field fence and was performing at the Dodgers-Yankees game?
Yeah.
Yeah, he rode the World Series trophy in on a 6'4" Impala at the beginning of this season.
That's great.
Were you there, Mateo?
We're loving it. Go ahead, Mateo.
Were you there, Mateo?
No, but I wish I was. That would have been really cool. You had to go to school. If I had to go to school.
School.
School. Getting in the way.
I know it.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Everything.
What'd you say, Deklan? School gets in the way of everything?
Yep.
Believe me.
Gets in the way of everything except for learning, guys.
True.
Well,
yeah,
one of these days,
which is important.
and Coach Dave and I will tell you this, one of these days you're going to look back on it and say, man, I miss school. When
100%.
when real world hits and you got to start doing something, school sounds a whole lot better. But anyway, I got confidence these two are going to get drafted, so they ain't got to worry about that like hard labor that I'm warning them about right now. So these two going to put in the work, and we might see them at the show. So that's what I think.
I look forward to that. I'll be getting your autographs here, guys, before too long.
That's right. All right. Well, listen, thank you everyone for listening. Continue to support these kids, support our show. We're just here trying to make a little bit of difference and add a little bit more fun back to baseball. So if you know someone that should come hang out with us on the show, make sure to send us a DM, send us an email. On all our social media channels. We're everywhere as well to Coach Dave. It's X, TikTok. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook at The Slide Show, theslidepodcastshow.com. I almost got messed up talking about my own show. So that happens. All right. Deklan, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Take us home.
Coach David, until next time.
We'll catch you on the slide.
Thanks for joining the action and sharing our love for the game. Now go practice your swing, or at least look like a pro in the mirror. Subscribe and follow the Slide Podcast and the Field Team on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your favorite social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review, a thumbs up, and recommend us to every person you meet. Got a question? Drop it in your review. We might just answer it on the podcast. Keep grinding, dreaming big, and remember, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Till next time, we'll catch you on the slide.